Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Cheva Narottanam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jamudirayat Nastabresya Bhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistike. We are reading from the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 21. The gopis glorify Krishna's flute. Text 8. Chuta Kavala Barasta Bhakatot Palaptya Malano Prikta Paridana Vishitra Vesha Matye Vire Chaturalam Pasupala Gostyam Ranghe Yata Natafaro Vachakayamano Chuta Pravala Barasta Boka Palapya Malampo Malano Prikta Paridana Vishitra Vesha Madhye Vire Chaturalam Pasupala Gostyam Ranghe Yata Natapara Vachakayamano Chuta Pravala Barasto Pakopalapta Malano Pikta Paridana Vishitra Vesham Madhye Vire Chaturalam Pasupala Gostyam Ranghe Yata Natapara Vachakayamano. Just a moment. Get the word for word on the screen. Difficult to see. Okay. Shuta of a mango tree. Pavala with young sprouts. Bara. Peacock. Peacock feathers. Stabaka. Bunches of flowers. Utpala. Lotuses. Abja. And lilies. Mala. With garlands. Anuprikta. Touched. Paridana. Their garments. Vichitra. With great variety. Vesha. Being dressed. Madhye. In the midst. Virjatu. The two of them shone forth. Alam. Magnificently. Pasupala. Of the coward boys. Gostyam. within the assembly, range upon a stage, yata, just as nata varo, two most excellent dancers, kwacha, sometimes, gayamano, themselves singing. Translation. Dressed in a charming variety of garments, upon which their garlands rest, and decorating themselves with peacock feathers, lotuses, lilies, newly grown mango sprouts, and clusters of flower buds. Krishna and Balaram shone forth magnificently among the assembly of cowherd boys. They looked just like the best of dancers, appearing on a dramatic stage, and sometimes they sing. Please repeat. Dressed in a charming variety of garments.
Yes, in a charming variety of garments.
Upon which their garlands rest.
Upon which their garments rest.
And decorating themselves with peacock feathers.
Decorating themselves with peacock feathers.
With lotuses.
Lotuses.
Lilies.
Lilies.
Newly grown mango sprouts. And clusters of flower buds. Krishna and Balaram shine forth magnificently among the assembly of cowherd boys. They look just like the best of dancers, appearing on a dramatic stage. And sometimes they sing. The purport by the disciples of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The gopis continue singing their ecstatic song as they remember the pastimes of Lord Krishna. The gopis wanted to go to the forest where Krishna was performing his pastimes, and while remaining concealed, they peer through the leaves of the creepers and see the wonder of Krishna and Balaram dancing and singing with their boyfriend. This was their desire, but they could not go. They sang this song in ecstatic love. Om Ajnana Timranasya Chananchana Shakaya Chakshu Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Spramrupakadamyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shio Shiyuda Padakamanam Shiom Vaishnavam Sa Shirupam Jagajatam Saganaragnatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parjana Saitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Saganalita Shivishakam Vitam Sha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jyatpate Gopesha Gopka Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavanashri Veshavani Sutta Devi Pranama Mahari Priye Pankha Kalpta Vashankre Pasni Vasha Patnam Pavanabhyo Vaishnabhyo Namo Namah Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasati Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vistaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nami. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pachari Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Bhaskatyan Dasata Srila Prabhupada Ki. This is the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and it describes the most intense love for Krishna, the love of the gopis, that in Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the 3rd chapter of the Adi Lila, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami speaks about this love of the gopis. And he said to understand this love of the gopis, one must be situated in Visuddha Sattva, purified goodness or transcendental goodness. If one is not situated in Visuddha Sattva, one cannot understand his pastimes. So that is the domain of those who are pure in heart. That not much I can say about it, but what I can say is what Rupa Goswami says in Nectar of Devotion. Nectar of Devotion, that Rupa Goswami says, yes, this devotional service is about experience of rasa, transcendental mellows, in English, translated, but there is no real translation. But anyway, transcendental mellows in spiritual emotions, experience of spiritual emotions. And the spiritual emotions is called bhakti ras, and it's very different from the mundane ras. The mundane ras, Rupa Goswami says, is bhoga tyag. That's the first characteristic. Sometimes you experience some material happiness, but mostly it's very short, and then it's renunciation, no happiness for a long time. And it's also chapala sukha, a very flickering, very short. But bhakti ras is different. When one comes to the stage of love of Godhead, one comes in sthai bhav. Sthai bhav means continued ecstasy, continued without interruption. And you have different intensities in this bhakti ras. And you have love as a servant. You have vatsalya, love as a parent. And sakya, love as a friend. And madhurya ras. It's a love as in the mood of a lover. And we see these gopis here. Their love for Krishna is so intense. It's not a love between a young boy and a young girl. You have two types of love. in the conjugal law, of conjugal love towards Krishna is Parakya and Svakya. Svakya is officially wedded, like the queens of Dwarka, but Parakya is more intense. It's forbidden love. It's love outside of marriage. And in the material world, this is the most abominable thing. But because it's a perverse reflection of love of God. The real thing is in the spiritual world. There's this parakyaras that so it's forbidden love, socially not acceptable. So these gopis are always under pressure. They have to face so many obstacles in the expression of their love for Krishna. Their mothers-in-law keeps them at home during the day because they are afraid they would go to the forest and see Krishna, Balaram, the cowboy. They are not even socially, these young gopis are not even allowed to look at a boy. That's most abominable to do such a thing. So in the morning, when Krishna leaves for the forest, then all the cowboys, they assemble before the house of Nanda Maharaj, they prepare for leaving. And these gopis, they are around because many of these gopis, they assist Srimati Radharani to cook for Krishna in the kitchen. And after that, when Krishna is leaving for the forest, they are hiding in the bushes. And they look at Krishna, Balaram, the cowherd boys from the corner of their eyes. So that nobody sees, they look at the cowherd boy. But their love is so intense, so they express their love in this Gopi-gita, that glorifying Krishna's flute, his pastimes. In the previous verse here, they said, yes, this seeing Krishna and Balaram is the perfection of the eyes, for those who have eyes. For those who have eyes. We don't have eyes, spiritual eyes. To have spiritual vision, we must come to Vishuddha Sattva. And Maharaj Parikshit in 10.1.4 said to Sukadev Goswami, Nivritat asher bhagyamanat vavasat akshotva mano viramat. He said, yes, to understand his pastimes, to become absorbed in Krishna's pastimes, one must be nivritat asher, free from lust. And to become free from lust, nivritat asher bhagyamat vavasadak. Vavasadak, medicine. You have to take a medicine. Vavasadak shotva, the medicine of hearing. Manobhirama, the medicine of hearing about Krishna and his pastimes. The medicine of hearing the first 9 cantos. Krishna's pastimes means Battle of Kurukshetra, means his creation as its pastimes. That so many pastimes in the first 9 cantos that if we are not becoming purified, then hearing these pastimes will not purify us. Prabhupada said they will putrefy us. A very heavy statement. That there came a couple to Srila Prabhupada and they asked Prabhupada, please tell us about the Rasa Lila and the gopis. And Prabhupada said, no, I cannot do that. But they asked him 3 times. And the 3rd time Prabhupada said humbly, maybe you are qualified to hear about it, but I'm not qualified to speak about it. So that's Prabhupada says that so mostly the self-realized souls, they don't reveal all these confidential details of the pastime because they are absorbed in the uppercut lila. Because these pastimes we see here in Vrindavan 5,000 years ago, they take also place in Goloka Vrindavan. And those great souls who have developed love for Krishna, they see the pastimes in there. They can see the pastimes. They enter the uppercut lila. And therefore they can reveal so many details that, of course, some acharyas, they use the Sanskrit to get more details, that others, they are visualizing the pastime and more details emerge. Others, they comment from the viewpoint of the Vedic culture, that but our acharyas are self-realized souls. They can see the past. And then, because on this verse, we have commentaries of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Jiva Goswami. And I will read also these comments that so the gopis, they are afraid to be that their mothers-in-law would confront him with their expressions of love of Krishna. So they are afraid for disgrace, and so they are fearing these obstacles. They have these obstacles, and so these are Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur describes the gopis. They are discussing between themselves. Should we go to see Krishna? Should we not go? So here he expresses their mood and says, so a gopi says, how will we deal with disgrace? We should not go. No, we should go anyway. But because he's with Baladev, who is he? Krishna. But because Krishna, he's with Baladev, our motive in going will not be fulfilled because they want to be alone with Krishna. But Therefore, from far off, through the leaves of creepers, we will taste the nectar of his beauty and songs and see him dance. And then we can quickly return home. So that mood here, Vishwanath said, that's the intention of this verse that we are discussing. He sees the inner mood of the gopis and reveals that to us. So with tender mango leaves, chuta prabal, peacock feathers, mala, and bunches of flowers in the air. These are the descriptions of Krishna. In the 2 ears, lotus buds. And go to the next page. Right hand places a lotus. Around his neck, a garment, wearing stone garments, colored red, yellow, and black, like those of an actor. Like those of an actor. Krishna and Balaram displayed colorful dress. Among the boys who were dancing, they also danced and sometimes they sang. Gayamano. Gayamano can also mean they were satisfied, mana, with the singing of others, Gaya, who praising them. Or it can mean that they were proud of their singing. No one in the tree world can sing like us. Who are you, insignificant coward? There's different meanings of the same word and different angles of vision of understanding the past. Interesting. That saying, yeah, that's the same sentence can be interpreted in so many ways, and it gives more and more details of the verse. Now, this is the commentary of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, no, Shiva Goswami. Shiva Goswami's commentary usually follows the commentary of Sanatana Goswami, who is his guru, his spiritual master. But here is no commentary of Sanatana Goswami. So Shiva Goswami says, wondering whether they should reveal their true emotions by double meanings, they conceal their emotions with great attention in their second verse. So because of intense feelings of love, they can no longer conceal that love in the third verse. Must come out. And in the fourth verse and other verses, they can conceal their love to some degree. They are decorated on their heads with bunches of flowers, within which were placed mango buds and peacock feathers. In their ears were the inner portions of water lilies, and in their right hands were play lotuses. They had garlands over their clothing. In this way, they were attractively dresses. Vichitra, bizarre. They appeared glorious amidst the gathering of colored boys in various ways. Virecha too, or because of beauty of each item. They were like two dancers in a dancing arena. This indicates that they would also dance and express their joy at will and that even the other cowherd boys would play instruments and dress skillfully. Otherwise, dancing would not be so beautiful. They would sometimes be amidst the other boys because of unsteadiness due to absorption in their playing. They were more splendid here alone than in Vraj, because in Vraj they could not sing or dance with the same abandon. And then it continues. Oh, there is a gradual development in the first 5 verses that the gopis speak. The intention of the previous verses was the cowherd boys had success for their eyes since they could see Krishna at that time. The present verse expresses not only do they see him, but they experience happiness with singing and dancing amidst a group which the two are present. They also sang, or they were glorified by others singing special songs. Or sometimes they would sing since they became too absorbed in dancing, or they became proud in singing. Of the two, who is the best singer? Let the best one sing. In this way, the two became proud and sang. This is a particular sweetness of their play. Oh, these cowards are fortunate, and we gopis are unfortunate, since we cannot freely associate with them because of fear of public opinion. This unspoken statement is understood from their emotions. This statement may be added to later verses also. The reason for frustration has been stated here. Fear of public opinion. So that's the commentary of Jiva Goswami. I noted that on the previous verse, that verse 7, there are 6 pages of commentaries of our acharyas, that so many details that, of course, we have the purport, then Jiva Goswami commentary, and Sanatan Goswami. We can read Sanatan Goswami. These are technical details in the beginning. This, yeah. Yeah, then we have to go in this verse where discussing a different verse. Any comments or questions? Yes.
Oh, did I hear that you mentioned about the part-time of the gopis? That Prabhupada said that he was not qualified to talk about. Those pastimes are not in the Bhagavatam, neither the Chaitanya Charitamrita.
No, they are there.
No.
They are there.
There are some pastimes there in Bhagavatam.
And Chaitanya Charitamrita. Chaitanya Charitamrita is very confidential and goes deeper in the pastimes and this love of the gopis. 3rd chapter of Adi Lila, Chaitanya Charitamrita, there it starts already. Of course, Lord Chaitanya is in the mood of the gopis, the mood of the greatest gopis, Srimati Radharani. And he's expressing the love of the gopis. And also, all the 6 Goswamis are in the mood of the gopis. That our entire Guru Pampara is practically in that mood. But this is very confidential, and we cannot understand it unless our heart is pure. Therefore, before studying Chaitanya Charitamrita, Prabhupada said one should 4 times read the Bhagavatam and all these other books. And then, but you can study teachings of Lord Chaitanya, read that book. But prematurely going in Chaitanya Charitamrita, you will not benefit much, because you must understand first the basic teachings of Venu-gita and also the Bhagavatam. Yes.
Thank you, Maharaj. So, I was wondering, does the gopi in Rajadam, do they know that the cowboys and the cowgirls, they are playing together, or nobody knows that they're playing together? It's really only secretly that they are playing, or it's a well-known fact that they are playing together?
You mean the gopis and the cowboys?
Yeah.
They don't have contact. That only at night and during the day sometimes Krishna leaves the cowboys and goes to the gopis. It's secret.
So nobody knows that they are playing at night when they are having the rasa. We know it because
Well, that Mother Yasoda certainly doesn't know.
they have no idea of the rasa.
She's imparentable. She thinks yes, Krishna is my son, and but at night Krishna slips out of bed, goes to dance with the gopis, and come back. Then of course sometimes Krishna has some fight with the gopis, and all his garments are in disarray, and he has some marks on his body here and there. And when Krishna gets up in the morning, and Mother Yasoda thinks, what happened? It didn't clean himself yesterday evening. He's still dirty. Anyway, so many pastimes, the gopis in Vrindavan, but of course, it is the desire, inner desire of all the residents of Vrindavan to get Radha and Krishna together.
Okay.
And also Mother Yasoda wanted, but she doesn't know about this nocturnal escape and what he does at night. But Daddy doesn't know that because Mother Yasoda invites Radharani to cook for Krishna. So called because she got the blessings of Durvasa Muni, that everything she would cook would taste as nectar. But she wants to connect these two also. These are expectation. So yeah, that's because that's the mood of Vrindavan, getting Radha and Krishna together. Radha is energy. Krishna is energetic. So devotees have the same mood. We prepare food. We know that food comes from Krishna, and we want that to prepare a nice meal and offer it to Krishna. So the food, and also that this is energy. We want to get it together with the energetic. So we want to get Radha and Krishna together. Of course, Krishna is not different from his energies. And that's philosophy that's difficult to understand. Krishna is one.
Yes,
It's one.
it's one.
It's one. But sometimes, because the energetic and the energy is one,
Oh, it's one.
but sometimes he appears different and split himself in Radha and Krishna. But he's one. And Lord Chaitanya is one. Radha and Krishna together. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha, Krishna, Narayana together. But these are deep, deep philosophical truths which are difficult to understand for conditioned state. What to say of understanding the love of the gopis? We don't have any idea what that, the feelings of ecstasy that they feel. That we may imagine something in our mind. That unless you come to bhava and enter your sthai bhav, your level of continued ecstasy in your relationship with Krishna. That's Mother Yasoda, sthai bhav is vatsalya bhav, always thinking of Krishna as her son. It's not a moment she doesn't think of Krishna as her son. But, anyway, yes.
Like highest, what you said, this love.
Yeah.
So no one can understand. You first said we cannot even understand unless we are on a certain level.
Visuddha Sattva, that is what Krishna Das Kaviraj said.
So we cannot even understand. We won't speak about Venu-gita.
Yes.
If we cannot understand, we cannot be attracted because we don't understand what this is. No?
Well, Krishna is the all attractive. So we will become attracted. And by that attraction, we may begin to understand that. But it starts with attraction. Attraction comes by hearing about Krishna. That's the beginning. Susrusha Shadadanasya Vasudeva Katarachi Syanatsi Vyapra Punyatirtamashya. We hear with attention about Krishna and serve the spiritual master, and we will become attracted.
So is any other, there is four of them. Is any other sampradaya that teach this love, highest love?
No, no. No, the Sri Sampradaya teaches Vaikuntha love, official love. That they go to the spiritual world, to Vaikuntha. But Goloka Vrindavan, the love of Goloka Vrindavan, the highest part of the spiritual world, has been revealed by Lord Chaitanya. That's explained in Adi Lila, fourth verse. Fourth verse is said, Lord Chaitanya came to give us what never was given before, this conjugal love of the gopis was never given before. That does not mean that there were no devotees before in Madhurya Ras. That can be, but it was not general. Because Ishvara Puri, and his spiritual master, Madhavendra Puri was also in that mood. That very special. That
So the some how they are teaching love of Radha, Krishna. Are they born?
well, they are certainly the full sampradayas are bona fide. But generally, they prepare one to go to other parts of the spiritual world. And that's the difference, especially the Shishya Sampradaya. And that, of course, there are always exceptions, surely. But because Lord Shiva also teaches great transcendentalists so yeah. But our four sampradayas, Sri Sampradaya, Rudra Sampradaya, the four Kumaras. The four Kumaras, the Sampradaya teaches merely how to come to liberation. Because four Kumaras are liberated persons. The Rudra Sampradaya, I'm not sure. The Sri Sampradaya is Vaikuntha. Mostly they are not. They are serving and Lakshmi Narayan, not Radha Krishna. And Lakshmi Narayan is Vaikuntha.
They are teaching love around.
Yeah, that's all right. That's bona fide. That is bona fide. But it's a different mode and a different practice. Vallabhacharya is mentioned also in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. He had some accident with Lord Chaitanya. It's also mentioned there, but they are bona fide. Yeah, that's and their practice is very nice, but it's a different sadhana there. Different sadhana. Yeah. But in our sampradaya, the goal is mostly Golok. I asked my Guru Maharaj about that. Bhakti Charamaj, and he said, but because you have Rupa Manjari, Rupa Goswami, Kamala Manjari, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and so on. I asked him what is that the mood, this gopis of our sampradaya? And he said, yes, that's the mood. That's the mood of the six Goswamis, the mood of our. But that does not mean that because you come in contact with Krishna, with ISKCON, and you perform devotional service, you go automatically to Goloka Vrindavan. No, that depends on our Svarup, on our eternal relationship with Krishna. And there, like Murari Gupta, Lord Chaitanya told Murari Gupta, you chant always Ram, 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 the names of Ram, but you should chant Hare Krishna. And Murari Gupta, he tried to follow that the first day, chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. And the next days, he came to Lord Chaitanya and said, I cannot do it. I'm so attracted to Lord Ram, I cannot do it. And Lord Chaitanya said, yes, you are Hanuman. So he was so that was his Svarup. He could not give it up. That it does not mean that everyone in our all devotees in our movement will develop this love of the gopis. That's very exceptional. That it's just because we have all our original relationship with Krishna. Spiritual means eternal. So our relationship is fixed. It's not something that this love is not something that you develop according to your desires. No, when you become purified, it becomes natural, it becomes manifested, and your attraction will be very clear in which direction. You will become attracted to a certain devotee in Vrindavan, and that's the moment you can go to Raganuga Bhakta, not before. Because then you know your position and you can reinforce it by reading about these devotees and these pastimes, and it will develop very quickly at that stage. Yeah.
You cannot understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
They want to speak about that.
Yeah. But what's very important is for us to approach Radha and Krishna in whatever we do. We have to go to the Lord Chaitanya. Without the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, you cannot enter that understanding of Radha and Krishna. It's just not possible. We need the mercy of Lord Chaitanya.
This is not
Please?
They are related to Chaitanya.
Yeah, sure. That, well, effectively, Palabhacharya was connected also with Lord Chaitanya. He has been chastised with him, but okay, he's a bona fide representative and a bona fide.
They say, it says they are
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah, you have five kinds, and they have all the five are approved in our line. But that's really the details of the philosophy. Yeah. Because you had also Vishnu Swami as purified oneness. I don't remember all the details. Yes.
Can you explain a little bit more how to deal with that Vishuddha Sattva?
Vishuddha Sattva.
Yeah, how to develop it into the process.
Yeah, we first have to understand what it is. In this material world, you have the three modes of nature: passion, goodness, passion, ignorance. But the mode of goodness in this world is always contaminated with some passion and ignorance. It's always contaminated. So the Brahmins, they are supposed to be in goodness, but it's material goodness still. It's not purified goodness or transcendental goodness. So how to come to this transcendental goodness? Krishna explains in Bhagavad-gita, Mam Siyovya Pacharana Bhakti Yogana Sevate Sakadam Samatichitam Brahma Bhuya Kalpate. By performing unalloyed devotional service. Unalloyed. Only the motive to please Krishna, no material desires. One immediately transcends the modes of nature. But that means you must always remain on that platform. Because we perform devotional service. Devotional service. Service is the external with the senses. The devotional is internal. Internal is most important. With that internal, with that devotion, you can transcend the modes if there is full devotion in the heart. But that must be done constantly. And that's also explained in the Bhagavatam. Savaipum saparodharmo yato bhaktirodakshi ahait kapatiyata yatma suprashidati. So what it means, the best occupational duty for mankind is pure devotional service. But this pure devotional service has two characteristics. Ahaituk means no material cause, only to please Krishna. Apatiyata, without interruption, continuous. And when you come to that point, you transcend But mostly we have difficulty with that because we chant Hare Krishna and the mind wants to do something else. There is no devotion. So it takes many years to purify our heart. And then when the heart is purified, we are at the border between goodness and Visuddha Sattva. But then you have to cross that border by chanting with love. And then gradually we get realizations. We start to see Krishna everywhere, in our heart, in the heart of others, and develop bhava, that, and then prema. And in prema there are also 7 stages. It's quite elaborately explained in the Chaitanya Charitamrita and in Nectar of Devotion. So that, yeah. So we have to be patient. Good. Thank you very much. Yantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.